Though the word disability may conjure up images of people in wheelchairs, blind people, and deaf people, the majority of disabled students at Roosevelt University have invisible disabilities, including learning disabilities and behavioral disorders. At the RU Academic Success Center, Director Nancy Litke contends that students like Becca Brown still face difficult challenges and offer support to these students' academic lives.
Understand, and people, oh, you're fine. I mean, they look at Becca and they think she's this, bright person, perfectly capable, and they look at her and they hear her comments in class and they see she's really bright, and then they say, why can't you turn your paper in on time?
I've gotten teachers who were just not willing to work with me at all on here who were just not willing to work with me, and they you sent them these are the accommodations that she needs, and they sit there, not ridiculed me, but I'm doing that. Then when I started to have problems coming to class, they sit there and I'm doing this for you every week, I'm putting this much effort into it, you should be putting this much effort into it too, that type of thing. And I'm just like, I am. And they didn't understand. And I've also, I'm very forward about what, I go through on a daily basis. And so, if I'm going through something, I will email my professor and be like, this is what my thoughts are, this is what I'm doing. And he'll be like, didn't really need to know that. Talk to you later.
Litke says professors do eventually adjust to students with these disabilities, and she offers suggestions to help them learn.
If they could have gotten the study the first time, they would have. So to present the material in the same way is futile. And what I'm all about working with them is, okay, let's figure out a different system. I have one student right now, and she's doing a research paper, and I said, well, we're going to do a non-writing paper, and she's kind of freaked out. I said, what are you so freaked about? Writing's really hard for you, so we're going to try to do it differently. So we just started, and I said, you're going to write things, but it's going to be notes, and it's going to be applied to questions that we've looked up and whatnot. The whole point is to get students to try to do things differently than they've done before, because sometimes that's very hard to kind of make that shift. But to recognize that sometimes what they've done before has not worked. We're all about trying to be more efficient, more effective, but that means people have to take a leap of faith and be willing to drop a lot of the ways they used to approach their work and do it differently.
Brown recently used a different format while writing a paper for a literature class.
We could do basically anything. We could do a thesis, we could do anything we want, but I'm taking a creative approach, and I'm turning a Shakespearean play into a modern
horror story.
It's not a horror story. It's a modern not TV, movie or whatever. One-on-one, there's the one-on-one tutoring.
Brown says RU's Academic Success Center offers her a closer, healthier relationship than the one she had at another, larger in-state university.
They set you in a class and they're like, here's how you study, and you're just kind of like, okay, I'm not 5, and you were with a bunch of other people that, depending on what your problem was, that's how you needed to study.
At Roosevelt, students can use 2 academic success centers, one in Schaumburg and one in Chicago. Each has a very different atmosphere.
Schaumburg's office is in the back of the admission. It's just in the back of this bigger office. I don't know, but it's it's this room that has ceilings all the way up, or walls all the way up, and it's darker. It's more private. It's just you and Nancy, and there's no sound or whatever. I used to bring my laptop and play the music just because I couldn't stand the quiet. But it's more one-on-one here. There's people here all the time. It's bustling. It's if you need something, you can just come right in and be like, hey Nancy, when you get a chance, I need to see you.
Just kind of
Andrea Egley, Associate Director of Student Support Services, also helps organize trips across the country in which students with invisible disabilities can meet other students learning with disabilities.
Leadership program, leadership organization. So as part of that, we take our students to a lot of leadership conferences. We are involved with several organizations on the state, regional, and national level, and so we are always traveling to take our students to those conferences to give them an opportunity to For a few reasons, but opportunity to network with other students from programs like these all over the state, region, that type of thing. In the spring, our big trip is to Washington, D.C., and that's where our next...
Why can't you turn your paper in on
Ultimately,
time, or,
Lakey notes that students with invisible disabilities may encounter the same or more severe problems in the classroom than students with visible disabilities. She speaks to professors and reminds them that these disabilities are real and are factors in a student's academic life.
He's the biggest slacker there is, and you can understand why professors, he's physically perfectly able and looks, but he's really, really struggling with lots of issues and a pattern of not being able to finish school, a pattern of not really being able to believe in himself, and I think sometimes we have to kind of believe in them until they're ready to take that over. But I can see why professors, when I send them an email, they're going to say, oh no, who's she writing about now? Because sometimes they can look like slackers. They don't get it. They don't see it. And it's not their fault. How could they know those things? And that's why I think sometimes it's hard for those people who look perfectly normal but have some issues that people aren't as sympathetic as they might have been as if they were blind or deaf or